Step into the chilling world of Richard Anthony Grissom Jr., an American serial killer whose heinous acts shook Johnson County, Kansas to its core. Over the course of 8 terrifying days in June 1989, Grissom callously snatched away the lives of 3 young women, leaving a community gripped by fear. What adds an extra layer of dread to this already horrifying tale is the fact that Grissom, who had previously been imprisoned for murder, managed to erase any trace of his victims, leaving their whereabouts a haunting mystery that endures to this day. Astonishingly, Terri Renee Maness, the second victim of this dreadful crime, remains a forgotten name in the news. Strangely, her story received little attention in the newspapers, and even more puzzling, it is the fact that Grissom was never held accountable for her murder. The burning question that arises is why. Beneath Grissom's seemingly ordinary facade lay a past veiled in darkness, a secret that eluded the knowledge of many. Unbeknownst to the world, the young Grissom, a mere 16 years old, was responsible for a chilling crime that unfolded in Lansing, Kansas. The details were nothing short of horrifying, as he callously tied 72-year-old Hazel Meeker to a chair and mercilessly impaled her with a railroad spike. Tracing the footsteps in the snow that led away from the scene of the crime, the police were able to swiftly capture Grissom. He was then transported to the Kansas Juvenile Detention Facility for a 3-year period, being released in 1980 at the age of 19. By the summer of 1989, Grissom, at 28 years old, was already the proud owner of a painting and maintenance company in Kansas City. Despite his success, he was also on parole, having been released from prison the year before for theft. December the 12th, 1963, marked the arrival of Terri Renee Maness into the world. She was blessed with loving parents, Donald Jean and Bonnie Sue Maness. Terri's commitment to her faith is evident through her active involvement in the First United Methodist Church. As a legal secretary, she was an indispensable asset to Wichita Judge Paul Thomas, utilizing her skills and expertise to ensure justice is served. Terri was overjoyed with her recent purchase of a brand new condo. The sense of pride that filled her heart was immeasurable. Maness settled into the condominium on the first day of March. As the newly elected secretary of the Homeowners Association, she took it upon herself to conduct a survey among her neighbors on Tuesday evening. Her aim was to gather valuable insights on the quality of lawn and garbage services in the area. A neighbor mentioned that Maness had voiced her concerns about the dark spots around her home. There have been multiple reports of vandalism and theft in the 9300 block of East Funston. Here's where things start to get hazy. The exact status of Terri and Grissom's relationship is shrouded in mystery. Were they romantically involved or mere acquaintances? What we do know is that they had made plans for a date on June the 6th, 1989. On the following day, June the 7th, rumors circulated that a concerned neighbor had been requested by her mother to investigate Terri's whereabouts, as she had failed to show up for work the previous day. During his initial visit, the neighbor refrained from entering the apartment, but instead left a thoughtful note on the door, urging Maness to reach out to her worried mother. As the day progressed, the mother reached out to the neighbor once more to check on her daughter. This time, he stumbled upon an unlocked sliding glass patio door and tragically discovered her body. The neighbor, Lieutenant J.C. Stevenson, residing in the same fourplex, discovered Terri's lifeless body in the basement of her home. Terri had been brutally strangled and stabbed multiple times. It was nasty, extremely nasty, Lieutenant J.C. Stevenson said. They don't want me giving out the details, but whoever did that to her was real angry at someone. Only a sick mind is capable of that. Terri's car had vanished. However, it was discovered the following Wednesday, a mere few blocks north of her, nestled within an apartment complex. Grissom proceeded to end the lives of 3 additional women. Joan Butler disappeared on June the 18th, 1989. She was last seen during the early morning hours of that day while she was out with friends in Overland Park, Kansas. Towards the end of the month, on June the 25th, Teresa J. Brown and her roommate, Christine Rusch, were last seen in their apartment at Trafalgar Square in Lenexa, Kansas. In 1990, Grissom was convicted of the murders and sentenced to 4 life terms in prison. He will not be eligible for parole until 2095. Even with Grissom behind bars for life, the mystery of the victims' missing bodies persists as he refuses to disclose their whereabouts. It is understandable that law enforcement feels justice has been served by ensuring a life sentence for the perpetrator. This ensures that he will never be able to cause harm to anyone else. Nevertheless, the family deserves some form of closure, no matter how minimal it may be. My hope is that DNA evidence will be collected to ascertain the truth and press charges against Grissom. It is crucial to find closure for all murder cases in some way or another. May Terri Renee Maness rest in peace, and may her memory be a reminder of the importance of justice and compassion for victims and their families. I want to express my gratitude to the person who brought this forgotten victim to my attention. I apologize to her and to all of you. This case is a prime example of what my channel represents. It sheds light on a crime that has been overlooked. Thank you for tuning in and for giving this victim the attention she deserves. Thank you. For those seeking a more comprehensive understanding of Grissom and the victims involved, I have included a link to my first video in the description box below. Take a look if you are eager to explore this subject in greater detail.